Welcome to BurghTakes, hosted by Kaleb, Myles, and Logan. For all black and gold sports, it all starts here, nestled on the mighty Pittsburgh rivers.
Root for our home team, a new pirate generation, everybody shout, let's go Bucks!
Welcome back to BurghTakes. I know it's not Monday. We're joining you on a weird midweek occasion, but we went to the first ever training camp that was open to the public with the Steelers, so we figured let's recap what we saw. It was an eventful practice, lot to talk about, lot to dive into. Logan, Kaleb, Mr. Clutch, how are you two doing? It was obviously your two first time at Saint Vincent. What do you guys make of the experience? Obviously, there was a lot going on, a lot of fans. Probably not the turnout that I personally expected. There wasn't a ton of people, but what do you guys make of your first time up there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like you said, I was expecting a lot more people than what I saw there, to be honest with you. I mean, also, I think learning from experience, I would bring a lawn chair or something more comfortable from what we were sitting on. But I mean, it was just cool to experience, see how everything was working out, see the differences from Mike McCarthy, and just seeing the new faces on the team. It was just cool to see the changes.
Yeah, I had a good experience. Obviously, yeah, I expected the same. I thought more people would show up. We got there at a pretty good time, and we probably could have even gotten there later and still got in
Yeah.
perfectly. No, I also, I dabbled in when I first walked in the pro shop. I saw some autographs and some mystery items, and I was dabbling in, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And spent $175 to get a Miko Fitzpatrick jersey.
You want to show him it, Caleb?
Wow. Mika Fitzpatrick jersey. Wow.
I mean,
Doesn't he's not even on the
I
team
feel like you're
anymore.
shortchanging the audience
Yeah,
here.
you really
There
are.
was a
He's not
lot of worst options that were at play.
There
You
was.
could have got a
gotten
Claypool.
You could have gone
Claypool.
Claypool. No,
The main guy
obviously
was
there was James Harrison, and I got Pat Fryermuth, which was okay, but still, I don't think like I said to you, I think Minka, he's been a great safety for the Steelers, and I think in the grand scheme of things, that'll be a jersey you can hang on your wall and you can
Yeah.
put some pride into it. But enough about us. I mean, obviously it was a great training camp. Day one in the books. There's a lot of overreactions we can make, but good or bad. I mean, what takeaways do you guys have on player standouts per se? I mean, I have my batch, but Logan, do you have your batch that you want to dive into?
Yeah, I can start it off. The first player that I really noticed, was just Patrick Queen, especially in the 2 minute drill and the impact that he was making on the defensive side, where he was tipping balls and he was leading to giveaway for the defense. And it's good to see him making that sort of. I mean, obviously it's first day, so it's like you said, it's like extreme reactions kind of, but it's good to see him sort of bounce back and sort of look a little hungrier after a down after he self-admittedly a down year last year. And it's a contract year for him, so you want to see him play good.
Mm-hmm.
TJ too. I mean, we've talked about TJ not changing sides and how that's affected him in his career and how he's been playing in the past couple seasons. And I mean, to see him actually switching sides and to be willing to do that, because he's talked about how whenever he had Mike Tomlin, he just told him he didn't want to do it. Like he didn't felt like he couldn't and he didn't trust himself to do it. But now he's understanding that it's going to be a different scheme. He has to buy into it, and I like to see that because whenever they do that, they can have all their star players like Herbig, who they just signed to a big contract, and Highsmith out there too at the same time, so they don't have to keep cycling them. And also, the last player that I wanted to point out was just Roman Wilson, because, I mean, this guy was one of those guys where we picked him in the later rounds, but we kind of had higher expectations for him because he came off a national championship. But, I mean, like seeing him get I think he got 11 targets throughout the reps or whatever, and a lot of them were from Aaron Rodgers. So, I mean, it was good to see that. And, I mean, it looks like they have a lot of confidence in him, and I'd like to see where that goes throughout the season and throughout training camp.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's weird. He took a lot of the wide receiver three reps over, Rodgers' close friend Skronik, which we saw him have a few rough
Yeah.
grabs out there, or even Bernard, who we saw perform rather well. But
Hmm.
it was interesting to see that out there for sure. It seems like it might be his final breakout year. But for me, I was in that same boat in the receiver court. Brandon Smith was a guy
Yes.
looking into him on his NFL page. He doesn't have that he played in the NFL, but And that's because he doesn't actually have a catch in the NFL. I mean, he played with the Jets, but he never actually, played his actual position and got some catches. But man, this guy looked like a dog. We had to Google who was this 87 guy out there because he
Mm-hmm.
was making some good catches, not only just
Mm-hmm.
in stride, but only in traffic as well. And there was a lot of fast twitch movement from him. I was really impressed with what I saw with him. But besides him, obviously there was the elephant in the room with Joey Porter Jr. out in the secondary. But with him gone, not even just him, Jalen Ramsey was obviously out too. Asante Samuel played amazing, like a CB1. I didn't even know Jamel Dean was out there. You couldn't. I honestly, if we want to talk about bad, I mean, I don't know if he was out there. I didn't know if Brisker was out there, but I did notice Asante Samuel. Um, we can get into what needs to maybe improve, but I think it all needs to start with that quarterbacks. But breaking
Mm-hmm.
down all of them, we got to start at the top with Rodgers. It was not a great first day from him. Obviously, he mentally looked happy. He looked like he was,
Yeah.
living it up with his former coach there. It looked like there was a level of comfortability, and he was his accuracy for sure was there, and his passing was there. But when it came to live game scenarios, it just wasn't the same touch. I don't know what you guys saw from him, or if you guys had anything else you wanted to add to that.
Yeah, there was, a few miscommunications and stuff like that with Roman Wilson. I posted a post on Twitter. It kind of
Mm-hmm.
went a little viral. Um, but yeah, his passing obviously is perfect. You know what I mean when he gets the ball out, but the communication definitely needs to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, none of the quarterbacks in the 2 minute drill even scored. Well, I guess Drew Aller did, but I think in the 2 minute going down to like going into the red zone, not in the red zone, none of them scored a touchdown. So yeah, it's first day, so you never know. But obviously, Rodgers is, he's going to get breaks during training camp for how old he is and
Yeah.
whatnot. So, like, can't really over misjudge like what's going on the field. But hey, he looks comfortable, so
Yeah, I was gonna say I agree. I think he looks completely comfortable and he knows what to expect, sort of. But it looked like he just wasn't making the right reads in the live game scenarios, like Miles
Mhm.
was saying. It just miscommunications. And obviously, it's first day. We're gonna get more comfortable. We're gonna have to work on this shit. But I kind of expected a little bit more from him. Whenever he's taking that veteran leadership role and everything. Whenever it did look like Caleb, you mentioned, Drew was the only one to score. I mean, it just from out of that, it's like. I expected more out of Aaron. I expected at least a touchdown. I don't know.
I mean, with that same veteran leadership role, I mean, my eyes were obviously there was a lot going on, but every time I glanced on him, he was just hugging McCarthy's side or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Angelino's sign. Like there was
Or,
no talking to the young guys.
I mean, can we also say like the best thing he did was that one-handed catch?
I
with
mean, yeah,
WR1,
That was
yeah,
kind of
he
crazy.
I
snagged
mean,
that.
he also did bring a next level intensity when he's playing defensive line out there
Uh,
as
he
a part of the warm ups.
he was going crazy out there. He was he
No,
was
I
he was
mean,
he was doing
yeah,
good.
yeah, he brought a good level, but it's certainly there was a lot to be desired from him. But obviously, the debate surrounded around the two, younger guys. But before we get to them, there was a lot of reps to Mason Rudolph. And frankly, I feel like there was a lot left to be desired as well. I mean, to be honest, to me, it felt like he was clogging the lanes before those two young guys. It was just like, all right, well, oh, Mason's out here. When can we see Drew or Will? Um, I don't know. I feel like that's going to be a very common sentiment throughout camp is just this guy, get him off the field and let's see what we can do. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like the sentiment between you two can't be much different than this guy just didn't play good.
Oh yeah.
I don't understand the mindset of them bringing him back or whatnot. I know Rodgers is obviously going to get rest during camp, and obviously Mason's going to he's going to get more reps, and then Will Howard and Drew Aller are going to get more second team reps or whatnot. But it just he got hella. I know if you saw the video, he got hella love after practice signing autographs with fans. So
Yeah.
clearly the younger generation really likes Mason, which I don't like that. But
Well,
it doesn't make sense as a front office, especially when you have a veteran quarterback like Rodgers. He didn't even talk to. I don't even think he even talked to any of the younger guys. They were just all in their own zone or whatnot, which makes sense. But like you don't need Mason as your QB2, and we can go. I know we're going to talk about it later, but like he doesn't. I don't get why he's even on the team right now. I don't.
well,
Yeah, I mean,
well,
we. Sorry, Logan. Go on.
I was just gonna say, like, I don't know if it kind of like, I just wanted to ask, like, if the love that he was shown after would kind of surprise you guys, because to me, it kind of surprised me. I mean, like, I feel like a big sentiment from the fans, at least from like what we talk about, and like the people I'm close to, is that Mason Rudolph is just, you already know what you're getting with him, and it's like, so why not give these younger guys a chance? But to see him get that much love, it genuinely did surprise me. I mean, I didn't know that many people were really on his side about this.
I don't know. I think it's training camp. It just comes down to him being a long tenured guy. Personally,
True.
I mean, I don't think there's much to it. But yeah, I don't know. I think his tenure has to be at this point where you kind of have to reassess if you're going to keep him around or what you're going to do because he's harming the guys. But we'll get into the two rookies here, or not two rookies, sophomore and a rookie, here in a second. But when it comes to Mason, I mean, live game, NFL experience is one thing, but when it came to actual open field throws, his stuff
Well,
looked not as good as those two guys
mhm.
who
Same old
weren't.
check
Yeah,
downs.
they
I
didn't
was
look
literally gonna
good.
say. I was literally gonna say that, like, whenever the best pass he made was a check down. And like I said to you guys,
Yeah,
it was like
literally.
the best he looked was on a check down, and that's all he's ever looked good on. Every single game I've seen him in, he's a game manager. That's all he is. I was literally talking to Kaleb on the way home. He's not a guy you're gonna win a lot with. He's a guy you're not gonna lose a lot with because he can manage some games. But
Which
like, is
is
that really what we need? We don't need that. We
y-
need winners. We need to
yeah.
win games.
That's what I was about to. Sorry for almost cutting you off
No,
there, but
you're
that's
good.
that's what I was about to say. Like that's a disappointing mindset because that's the whole frame that he's keeping around is that if
Hmm.
Rodgers goes down, we just need someone who can be a game manager. But
Exactly.
that's a terrible mindset to have. I mean, you have two guys who, quite frankly, why can't Will Howard be a game manager? I mean, he had Judkins, he had a great backfield, he had Jeremiah Smith, and he had a great receiving core, Marvin Harrison. Why can't he be a check down guy? He had all the weapons to not necessarily put the strain on him to play his talent, but to necessarily be that guy to be a system quarterback. Drew Aller has the pieces necessarily there, but you need to refine it. But it just feels like they're holding on to something just necessarily because of a past stat line. When you see it
Yeah.
with your face, it just isn't there.
Yep.
Is there anything you guys want to add on this saga? I mean, it feels like he's a ticking time bomb before he gets cut.
No,
Yeah.
the main thing is just he's clogging, like you said, he's just clogging the lane for the rookies to show what they got and to be able to improve. Like that's just what it is.
I was just gonna say, like, I feel like in a month, if we're making the right moves, then Mason Rudolph should not be on this team. That's what I'm saying.
I completely agree. But before we move on to the prize ticket, obviously with Drew Aller, the talk of you know social media and Caleb's ticket to minor viral fame a little bit with a few clips here. But Will Howard, I mean, it was exciting to see him out there. It was definitely interesting to see him side by side in a few reps with Rodgers just to compare the releases and the whole stance and everything. But I don't know. I mean, personally, it just felt like his performance just, while it necessarily wasn't bad, it just wasn't anything to, bring home about. It just was forgettable.
Hmm.
Like, I can't remember necessarily one throw where I was like, oh, nice, Howard. It
Yeah.
was all in open field. Nothing in the 2 minute drill or just in general that was impressive.
Well, almost had a touchdown in the 2 minute drill that he just missed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was just hard to see. It was hard to just judge on just the rookies. I know Haller had some miscommunication or like some bad plays, but just for Howard, it's just most of his play, like you couldn't see much. There wasn't much there to
Hmm.
see. He had obviously good throws and stuff, but like going down the field, you couldn't see much. There wasn't much there, and that's why I don't understand when we get back onto the Mason point. He's just hogging up the lanes for them just to show what they got,
Yeah.
and you couldn't really see much of Howard, especially just on mistake wise. There was nothing there I could point out.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree with both of you. I feel like Will Howard was just very pedestrian today. I mean, I feel like with him being a sophomore and already experiencing this for 1 year, I kind of expected him to, outshine Drew Aller just a little bit and maybe kind of, maybe try to establish a little bit of dominance in the fight for the QB2, QB3 spot, whatever the hell. But I mean, just in my opinion, he just looked pedestrian. I can't remember anything he did that was special. Like Caleb said, he had the one moment where he almost scored a touchdown. But if we're talking about almost if butts and coconuts, you know what I mean? It's like, why are we talking about that?
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of his accuracy, it wasn't off, like he wasn't behind or leading receivers, but he was a little high per se
Hmm.
for from times, and you could see that not just in the 2 minute drills, but in open coverage, there was guys having the jump, and I don't know
Hmm.
if it was him or Mason, but someone had to make a handed grab. But I do remember Will Howard. A lot of the guys were
Hmm.
jumping, so it was just his accuracy maybe just didn't look specifically pinpoint, but it is hard to judge it when you're seeing a guy like Rodgers who is such like a fine-tuned quarterback. But I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean, it definitely with Will Howard. I mean, I feel like this is the perfect close on his segment. It's just there's a lot to be desired, and that
Yeah.
needs to happen with Rudolph getting off the field and just seeing what he can what he can do.
Hmm.
I mean, personally, I wouldn't feel comfortable cutting Howard just because we haven't seen enough. I mean, there just isn't enough, or like he still could be, a decent quarterback. But I mean, with all of that, he has an obstacle right now to not have that be his fate. I mean, it's quite literally looking like the Steelers might be optimistic to keep Rudolph as a backup and then go between one of these young guys. If they don't carry four, which could be an option. So Drew Aller obviously was a lot of eyes on him at the camp, and there was the equal amount of action as Howard, but a lot more to talk about. So I'm gonna restrain my points first of all, but open it up to the floor. Do you guys have anything you want to say about Big Drew Aller, the rookie coming out of Penn State?
I just wanted to say that I think Drew Aller, he surprised me a little bit. I kind of expected him not to do a lot today and, kind of just settle in and, but the two things I really noticed about him was obviously his footwork, which has already been talked about, and just looking at him, making those cuts and dropping back, and he looks similar to a 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers, which isn't really the best. But when you talk about the accuracy, Miles, you talked about Will Howard going a little bit high. I sort of noticed that with Drew Hour a little bit too. I mean, his accuracy isn't bad, but I tended to notice whenever he did miss, he would miss high, which led to a lot of tips and led to a lot of like bad passes. But I mean, other than that, he made a lot of great passes. Like we said, he was the only one to score in the 2 minute drill. I think he impressed me. I mean, I think he did really good today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to add. I mean, obviously there were some bad passes, kind of resembled when he passed in the Orange Bowl against Notre Dame, that third
I was
coverage
gonna
or
say the
whatnot.
decision making was a
The
little bit
decision
a
Yeah.
little
making,
bit
yeah.
questionable.
And then, yeah, like the interception and whatnot, the tip that happened. Yeah,
Which
there was, I mean, Drew Aller was our main focus, but there's not much else to add. I mean, it's just the accuracy right now and the
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
footwork.
even looking back at that tipped interception, it goes back to that decision making. He was so late on passing
Hmm.
to
Yeah, he
Warren.
was.
He was
Mhm.
so late. He checked his
Yep.
medium. He's down. He had nothing downfield, and he just threw to his check down guy,
It was
and
like
it was
two,
late.
three
Yeah.
seconds late.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
in
was
his
If
eyes, everything told the fact that
it,
that was
yeah.
where you were going.
I
Hmm.
mean, in Caleb, in one of the clips that you filmed, like I literally could like see him like in midway through the play, like getting all in his head and like not knowing what to do. It's like you could tell
Hmm.
like you guys were saying, the decision making is not fully
Hmm.
there. And I mean, it wasn't fully there in Penn State. But we can't pretend like it wasn't like that isn't one thing that we need to fix. But
Hmm.
I mean, if you can get that down, I mean, not we just gotta stop throwing in triple coverage, man. I mean, learn your lesson. Learn your lesson.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that is the best way to put
Like,
it. You've made this mistake so many times, and it looked like he wasn't there. But
Yeah.
it does. The biggest thing to take away is that footwork. It just wasn't
oh
there, and
yeah,
it was
yeah.
very. I mean, as much as it might sound like it's an exaggeration comparing him to Rodgers, it
No, it's
very
not.
well was like rolling out. It was very similar. It's very
Same speed.
clunky, and it just isn't there. In the pocket, I think it's different. I think you could probably move in the pocket
Hmm.
different, but out of the
Hmm.
pocket, there's no, yeah, there's no scramble, no play action. It's very limited. But yeah, I mean, it was an optimistic start. It felt like for sure he was warming up.
Yeah.
He didn't hit the ground running right away. But yeah, I definitely think if we want to personally like, I don't know, we could all give our verdict on this. I think obviously the battle is him and Howard. He won day one between the two.
Yes.
Obviously,
Yes.
despite the interception, despite the triple coverage, he had the only touchdown of camp between all quarterbacks.
Well,
So,
well, that's the thing. It's like we're talking about who won. We're talking about the guy in a positive light, and then we're saying that Will Howard was pedestrian. So, I mean, to me, it's pretty obvious who won the day one, no matter what the interceptions or touchdowns. I mean, Drew just had more to talk about than Will Howard did.
Dude, he has the most eyes on him. I mean, everyone at that camp
clean
around, like he
sweep,
has
Caleb.
the
You
most
agreeing with
eyes.
that? 3 and
No,
0. Drew Aller wins day one.
yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I couldn't really just point out anything that Will Howard was just like, wow, that just caught my eye. I'm gonna be honest. When I first walked in that camp, I was just like, I would just want to see Drew and just what he has. I mean, just felt
I was
I just
excited.
was more connected to him. So I guess I have a bias towards it, but hey, he's gonna improve, and I really, like we said, just going back to the Mason point, I really hope they get more reps,
Yeah.
especially with first team or whatnot, or set whatever you want to call it.
I mean, obviously, it's still very early.
Yeah, for sure.
The debate is just how it shakes up if they carry
Hmm.
4. It's very early to give those takes, but
Hmm.
we can kind of keep those two things, on the roster. But beyond that, there's a very dynamic offense. So there's a lot of questions about, Logan, you wrote about it. The biggest one is that
Hmm.
backfield. And it kind of looked like if you wanted to put a definitive answer on which one was going to be the RB1, you couldn't. They kind of did switch it up. It looked like
Yeah.
at times one would practice with the first team and then it would be the other one. It just doesn't look like there is a clear RB1, but I want to
Hmm.
hear what you guys took away just from both of their play because they did have a few, handoffs to themselves and what they did do.
Yeah, I mean they're
Yeah.
both really. Yeah,
No,
you
you
can
you go
go.
ahead, Caleb. You got it. Yeah,
No,
you
they're
started.
just both really good football players. I mean, you can compare them to when, like, I'm not trying to compare them to Jameer Gibbs, but like just the combination of
Yeah.
Gibbs, Montgomery, and just two guys that you could just go back and forth with. Now, I really do think Warren's definitely better when it comes to just midfield play, and Rico's more better in the red zone. But it's like you can't really like they're both really good football players. I don't really have a stance
Hmm.
on who should win each. And yeah, like you said, there was no first reps. They were just switching in and out.
Yeah.
Um, but they looked good. I mean, they looked. I liked some of the cuts Rico had in the some of the plays.
I
Yeah,
mean, we would also be remiss if we didn't mention that. I mean, this is also a leg up in the battle. Before anyone was out there by a wide margin, Warren was out there getting some reps. So
yeah,
Yeah.
it matters. That does
Yeah.
matter.
hmm
I feel like that also kind of shows you that they know, like he kind of knows this battle is going to be happening because like he's trying to show. Because in my opinion, at least from what I wrote in the article, I thought that Rico had the leg up from having the history with Mike McCarthy and everything, and having the season he had last year with those two or three big games and all of that. And I think from what I saw, like you guys said, it was very even. Rico started out a little bit more with Aaron Rodgers, but they definitely split it a little bit more towards the end. But like you guys said, they both looked good. I mean, I really don't think you have a wrong decision with who you pick to be RB1. I mean, they both have their strengths, they both have their weaknesses. But I feel like just whatever the hell, whoever they pick to start day one, it's not going to be the same throughout the season. I think it's
yeah,
obviously going to change.
yeah. It's gonna
It,
be interesting to see how they just use like who where on the field and how they
Yeah.
like who gets put in the red zone. And it makes sense Rico going in that position, but it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, there's no clear one answer. I mean, they're both
Hmm.
really good running backs. It's just what formation do you run and who's more stronger to, get the first down or whatnot.
I mean, it just isn't the backfield, though. I mean, most of the questions also are
Mhm.
directed of who's going to be blocking in front of them.
Mhm.
Hmm.
We got a little bit of that look of what the line would be. Fatuanu on the left side.
Mhm.
Yeah, Notchor was not a part of the first team unit, but besides that, there really wasn't many surprises. Broderick Jones is still limited, but it just seems like this is an O line that there's going to be a lot of molding and developing. Sim with Dunker, he just really wasn't there yet. It just seems like he's kind of in a similar boat with Aller, where he just needs
Mhm.
to, mold and
Mhm.
work on a lot of things. But I don't know. I don't know if you guys wanted to take away anything off this O line. Maybe, what you see if Broderick Jones is maybe out of a job when he comes back. If Iheanacho do you think at the end of camp gets first team reps? Obviously, it's very hard to assess, the offensive line from what we see in a non-tackling,
Yeah.
format where pass rush just isn't really, essential. But I don't know. I mean, the units, just what you have seen, is there any takeaways that you guys necessarily have?
I think, I mean, I saw some, I know, I mean, we saw TJ Watt. I don't know who it was, but he put some guys on their asses, but,
Oh
that's
yeah.
expected. But I mean, just overall the line, I mean, I like I like Fontenot, I like McCormick, I like Fraser, Anderson, Cook. I think Cook should really step up. Obviously, when he came in last season, he went against Myles Garrett and all those top guys and played really well. Um, I just don't know where they put Jones in, not sure. But I mean, there's not much you can't really judge much against the offensive line in training camp. It's hard to like say what until they actually start doing like 11 on 11 drills and actually like well, there's no live tackling, so I don't really know how big of an impact that's going to be. It's just more communication, I guess.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I wasn't really watching the O line that much. Like it felt like, at least for me, I probably should have watched them a little bit more. But from whatever I saw, it just felt like getting used to it. Getting used to this new system. I do like the core that we had with the starting O line. I think that it's great. I mean, Faunatu is going to be great. McCormick's going to be great. Frazier's going to be great. I think like I've talked about it whenever we drafted Dunker and all of them. I don't know how they're going to fit in, but I think like we're building a great O line. If these guys go down, we have good backups. If these guys aren't going to start, I want to see more out of Ian Achor. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see more out of him, and I want to see him get first team reps. 'Cause I mean, if we're gonna spend the first round pick, and if it wasn't a rush job, I mean, I want to see the guy perform. I want to see him be on the O line. I want to see him like fight for a spot.
The one
Yeah,
thing
I
I
mean,
would say before I pass it on to you was just more, I hope Zach Frazier and Rodgers are more on communication because we saw last
Hmm.
season on some of them, some of the balls were
Yeah,
like
yeah,
spiked
high.
too high or whatnot. So I'm hoping that fixed. But overall, I think Frazier should improve this year, and I think ever since we drafted him, he's been a great center. It's just improving on communication with Rodgers, and like I said, that's the main thing with
I
this
agree.
in training camp.
yeah, I mean, it just seems like they need to figure out just the chemistry of it all, but the
Hmm.
group is pretty much solidified,
Yeah.
despite, maybe some few minor shakeups. But flipping to the other side of the ball, new Patrick, Patrick Graham, the new defensive coordinator, he was very vocal at camp. He was
Hmm.
a very, present figure. But nothing was more present than the secondary today. There was a lot of pass breakups. We talked about it already. Asante Samuel. There's a lot of great players in there. Dalen Everett did also have a good day. We we talked about it a little bit. You mentioned it there, Kaleb, Watt, and the guys switching from side to side. So
Hmm.
I don't know what you guys wanted to say about this defense and what you guys took away early.
Well, just on the side to side thing and that, I know that happened I feel like that I know that happened last camp when they were switching side to side, and then when they actually got into the actual season, they just all stood still. Watt stayed in
Yeah.
his same position. I hope it's just completely different. I mean, Watt should not be in the same position. Like you have to switch around. You have to give them different reads, especially the O line or whatever whoever O line we're playing. But I think just bringing in Patrick Graham and just the whole different scheme that he has, and I think it our defense should definitely improve. And I mean, overall, the first day of camp, the defense did win. I mean, we all
Yeah.
can
Mm-hmm.
clearly
I
say that they
I was
100% won the first day.
I was gonna say like perfect segue, because I was gonna say Patrick Graham was the first coach out there. He was the coach who was the most hands on. He was up on the pads, hitting them with the players and doing all the shit with them. And I feel like, just like you said, Caleb, they won that first day. They looked great. I mean,
Mhm.
even with missing JPJ and Ramsey, I mean, I feel like Miles talked about Asante Samuel stepping up and looking like a QB CB1. I mean,
Mhm.
the defense looked great. And obviously it's day one, so like the offense needs to get more adjusted, and we'll see how they do. But I mean, from what I'm seeing good. I'm seeing good signs out of them.
All three of those middle linebackers played amazing too. Cole Holcomb,
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Queen,
Mm-hmm.
and Peyton Wilson, who had the interception courtesy of a Holcomb tip off of
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Drew Aller. So, I mean, there's not I mean, obviously it's early in the season, so it kind of does typically lend defense's way because it's easier to kind of get in the
Yeah.
defense rather than, just with a scheme and all these new pieces. But yeah, I mean, they've shut down a lot of the key offensive pieces. Like, we didn't talk about it at all. And I mean, even though we're switching to the other side of the ball, we can talk about it. Like, DK, new addition Pittman, the both tight ends were completely obsolete for this training camp. They did not do much.
Hmm.
Dude, you didn't see them much in the 2 minute drill. I feel like majority of the wide receiver targets were literally Roman and then
Yeah.
what's Brandon Smith. I really do. That's
Yeah.
the guy that I really saw most with the ball.
I mean, I feel like
Yeah,
Pat Fryermuth had a drop, and then like the one time he touched, or he had the, I think he caught a Hail Mary, and then he caught it on the lateral play. Like
Yeah.
that's the most I saw out of him today, and
yeah,
just
and
I wanted more.
Pittman had a big breakup that was from Everett, so that's a
Yeah.
rookie that was doing you like
Hmm.
that. I mean, there was a lot to be desired. It was definitely
Hmm.
a rude awakening for those guys for sure. But I mean, they're gonna come back hungry. They have a lot to prove. We
Hmm.
know it's an offensive coach, but a lot of the talk was just about this coaching in general. Obviously, we know they didn't do tackling, which some people had, some debates on because the Steelers weren't a great tackling team last year, but the reporters asked around, they brought it to the masses, and it seems compiled that most teams don't practice or tackling at Trent Camp.
Hmm.
It's an old thing, it's an archaic thing, and they were kind of the last team to do that as a thing. But other than that, there was a lot of changes. They didn't have benches, which is honestly one of the things I mentioned. They didn't have benches for players to sit on,
Hmm.
and also being there from the last time under Tomlin, it was very fast. There
I
was
was
not
gonna
much
say.
time between drills,
Hmm.
and honestly, as a fan, I mean, we left our experiences early, but it was good to watch. Like, it was very
Hmm.
fast, and there was always something to keep the players moving, working on something. It was real work. It seemed like it was actually something substantial that'll pay off.
Yeah, they like we saw it on the scoreboard. It was like 5 minute drills, and then you have literally 1 minute to get to your next
Yeah.
position, and then yeah, that 1 minute goes down. It's another 5 minutes or 6 minutes or how many minutes you just keep going on and on and on. I mean, I really like it. I just like a guy that just has a plan and just switching it up. Because you saw Mike T does the same shit over and over again. Just if it works, it works. And I just really like just the different way that McCarthy's bringing it. I mean, obviously he's more bigger on emphasis on film study and all that after practice and all that. And just keeping players fresh and mentally like prepared. I think that's just the way he ran practice. I don't hate it.
Hmm.
And just getting rid of the benches, dude. You don't need players sitting down. Just keep moving.
I agree with whatever you guys, well, everything you guys are saying. I mean, I I love the change of pace. I mean, obviously, I wasn't there for the last training camp; it was my first training camp. But I mean, looking around at the other stuff that I've seen, I saw like the Bills head coach was having like extended breaks during the practice and everything, and obviously McCarthy didn't have that. I love the pace of it. Everything seemed like it went smooth. Everything seemed like it flowed. Nobody seemed like they were questioning what they were doing or were just in a rush. It felt like everything just worked the way it was supposed to. And the one thing that I wanted to point out was the end of the day, how they finished on a positive rep for the offense and for Drew Aller after the defense was whooping their ass so badly,
Hmm.
which I think was a great a great thing because in my opinion, I feel like Tomlin would have ended practice and the offense would have been going off angry and feeling unsatisfied with their performance. So I mean, I feel like that was just the best part about it, and just seeing how he runs it differently. And that was obviously the big question going into this season with going to a 20-year coach who's always had the standard and how that's going to change. And I think it's honestly changing for the better, seeing all the reaction from the players, offense and defense.
I mean, I completely agree. You seem like he was involved in anything, even the
Mm-hmm.
punting, which
Mm-hmm.
we didn't even talk about. The punting was an emphasis on the main field for a good portion, which
Yeah.
did count for something. Some mediocre stuff. I definitely want to see Waitman back for sure, but there's a lot of stuff to see going forward, a lot to be desired, but we didn't even touch on it. The main development was Joey Porter Jr. His
Hmm.
back spazzed up during mobility drills
Yeah.
while he's looking for a contract. We'll obviously break it down, I'm sure, more whenever we have our full episode Sunday, but this is a developing thing. Obviously, we expected to see him out there. But just, give a pulse check on Wednesday. Obviously, Denzel Ward got his, payday. So, what are we feeling right now? Do you want to give him that money, get him out there soon? Obviously, it doesn't seem like that's the case, but it maybe does. So,
I
I
was
don't
gonna
know.
say.
Maybe I'm reading into it a little bit too much, but I don't know. What do you guys read in this situation?
No, I mean to me, I feel like I'm sort of reading it as a holdout situation kind of right now. When Mike McCarthy was asked about it, and he was asked like, "Did you know about this, or did it happen during the whatever the movements or whatever?" And he said, "Yeah, it happened during that." And like just to me, it just feels fishy a little bit because obviously you're looking for that contract. Ward just got it and everything. I don't know if they're willing to pay him that money right now. So I just feel like we're going to be in a situation with him. And also, I don't know if you guys saw the video of him on the sideline playing catch and like extending his
Mm-hmm.
arms fully and jumping up, which is like if your back's fucked up, you really shouldn't be doing that. But I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's a holdout, for sure. Just by like you just saying that last thing, him jumping
Yeah,
and all of that, like, come on. Uh,
Yeah, I saw that
I
clip.
don't. Is he worth the contract? I don't know. Do we even have the money for that? That's what I'm like. Do we even
yeah,
have to give him 30 plus million? I don't even know. But I don't really have a answer on like what he deserves or whatnot. The Denzel Ward just messes up the whole
yeah,
situation. That gives him a full target of what he actually would want. And then the Gonzalez, obviously, Kraft wants to make him the most highest paid. So I don't really have an opinion on it yet.
Yeah, it's a bad
I
thing.
really feel like just I really would like him to play and just play a full season and then go from there. But you
yeah,
never know with these players. They want their
Yeah.
money and they want
We
to.
we gotta hold back because
Yeah.
like Logan said, maybe it is a we saw him moving rather gingerly. He looked rather okay, so maybe the spasm's cool and we see him tomorrow and
yeah.
this is an
Yeah.
irrelevant topic by Sunday,
hmm
but it
hmm
is something we have to keep an eye on, especially as how fast it may be moving, but regardless, is there anything else you guys want to see? We talked heavy on the QBs, but I mean, before you guys go, obviously for me, it's got to be the receivers, just in general, the tight ends and the receivers. There's got to be more there to be desired,
Mm-hmm.
especially Pittman as the new addition. Bernard had some decent stuff, but I feel like there's got to be something. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what you got to see. Any other takes by you guys?
No,
No,
I
I think
mean,
you hit it on the nail for me.
yeah, I mean, I want to see the wide receivers and tight ends do a lot better. I think also with like we talked a little bit about it earlier with the reps for the quarterbacks. I want to see less reps go to Mason. I want to see more of them go to the young ones over time, and that's what I'm hoping they're going to start doing.
I think they're going to. I mean, McCarthy said he's on a pitch count or throw count, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah,
pitch count. But yeah, it's gonna happen. Like Aaron Rodgers, some days he's not gonna go out and practice, and
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna get opportunity. The youngers are gonna get more opportunities, um, for
Well,
to get more reps.
well, especially since like Aaron Rodgers has already taken 40% of the reps. It's like
Yeah,
whenever you take that out of the equation, of course they're going to get a lot more reps. But
yeah.
it's obviously when he's in there, it's going to be a lot tougher to get them.
hmm
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. A lot will change by when it looks like we'll be back. It looks like we may be back
But
Monday, August 3rd.
one thing I before we end this, I just want to completely go off the board, off players and stuff, and I just want to talk about the fucking recording policy
That's on
rant.
there. That was about what
Never.
I was going to get into.
Okay,
That was what I was
I
going to
just
get
wanted to make
into.
sure. I just wanted to
Yeah,
make
that's what I
sure
was
we're
going
not
to get
skipping
into.
over
No,
that.
no, no, get it right into it.
No, you might
Get
as
your
well
No,
go.
point.
You might as well
Let's get
go.
your point.
it's just completely, bro. We get there, just see tons of signs, no video, no audio recording during practice. Now we went to the bleachers. They were wide
Yeah,
open. We just sat on the bleachers. Best honestly view of the field. You get all three
yeah.
fields, and you just see these guys in these yellow shirts just walking around, just hovering
Cock
over your
watching.
phone, like literally cock watching you recording videos. And there were some people obviously recording videos. I obviously was recording videos when they weren't looking, but just some of the stuff they were doing. Some kid was on his break eating food with his friend or whatnot. And they were both coming down to the stairs, and he was like, yo, I'm gonna take my hat off so I see, so I'm like more like a fan, so I can like catch some people or whatnot. Pretty much just trying to catch people, trying to look like a fan. Just the whole recording policy just does not make sense. What does that do, bro? Like you see it everywhere. Everyone records.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I recorded. I got some
No.
great videos. I got 130K views
Well,
on Twitter and shit. I
Caleb,
just don't understand it.
that's what I was gonna say. I mean, like you did it. At least fucking like 50 other people did it. Like, how are you gonna stop it? And also, my thing is like with the audio recording. How the hell are you gonna know I'm audio recording if I like? It feels like it's just a lot of nothing for like stuff that's already gonna come out. I mean,
Hmm.
I can sort of understand it, but like at the same time, no. I mean, like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
so easy to just pull out your phone and record it, and then like you didn't even mention. I don't know if you guys heard it. But he told one of the guys like later in the practice to stop recording, and the guy was like, "Do you want me to delete it off my phone?" And he said, "No, you don't have to delete it off your phone." So
Then
then,
what's the
so then,
point?
what's the point? If he
Exactly.
has it on his phone, you can't tell him to delete it. What's the point of not telling us not to record? Like, it just
I'm
makes no
not
sense.
sure. We would have to do more research. I don't know if every practice or every like NFL team does that, but if every NFL team doesn't do that, then why are the
Yeah,
Steelers doing it?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
give us a good reason.
I mean,
It just, especially for us when we're in media and we're trying to capture shit in videos, it just defeats the whole point. Person
yeah.
even just going to training camp.
Well, we're fan media. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
But the real point is they have credentialed media on this whole sideline recording anything they want, and it doesn't make sense. It ruins the fan experience. You saw the guy in front of us. What was it? He was 90 some years old. We heard people
yeah.
traveled from Florida. Oh, people traveled 100 some miles. Like you could tell, one lady we saw, it was clearly her 50th birthday. This is something that for people that go to St. Vincent's, like no disrespect to them, like this is something that is different from a Steelers game. This is their
Mm-hmm.
thing. Like this
Mm-hmm.
is a
Mm-hmm.
big thing for them.
And some
And
people
like
can't. Some
yeah,
people
it
can't afford
ruins
tickets to go
it.
to the game, and just
Yeah, that's
like
what
you
I'm
can't
saying.
even
There's a
like
lot
take
of people that
videos.
this is what this is for, and it ruins the fan experience when you can't take a video where what you're going to capture is obsolete to what you're going to see on the field week one. And
And
it's a
also,
terrible process.
what you guys just mentioned, if it's league wide or not, I just searched it up. It's not league wide policy, so we're just being dickheads.
Yeah,
And you know
it's
who's serving that policy? Yellow shirts, like you said, who have no affiliation for what that footage is actually going to
Exactly.
be. If this is the process that you're going to be, then the Steelers organization needs to do a better job of doing it. They need to not have these guys who are being paid damn near minimum wage to try to fight a job that you could tell the guy doing it didn't clearly want to do this. He has no
Exactly.
horse in the race. He doesn't care what Steelers footage gets out there. He's just doing something he doesn't want to do. It's just a terrible process for all
and
involved.
to be honest with you, most of the media, I mean, I captured good videos of Drew Aller and missed passes, and it went viral or whatnot. Bro, the media didn't capture that. I was the only one
Yeah,
on
they didn't
Twitter that
post that.
captured those two videos of him doing back-to-back bad passes. So majority of the fan media is the good videos that you want
Well,
to see. The media doesn't show everything that the players do.
I was just gonna ask, do you guys think that the policy might be to protect some of these players? Like they're thinking like, cause Caleb, I mean, like you just said it, like a lot of
Yeah.
the media wasn't posting those bad Drew
Hmm.
Aller passes, and you were one of the people to post them. So I mean, maybe that's one of the things that they're looking out for. But at the same time, it still doesn't make sense to be like, okay, you can't post that, you can't record that. So what if you post a bad rep from fucking Drew Aller on
Yeah.
day one? You
And
know?
guess
I
what? If
think
I didn't post that, we wouldn't have something to talk about because no one would have
Exactly.
known.
I think it's being really anal on the point of being like, oh, someone's gonna film and record our thing and steal it for their thing, Spygate.
Yeah.
But which is so obsolete. You've been a
Yeah.
coach for like 15 years now. Your schemes are known. People have a general idea of what you're going to do. The only things that are out there are personnel, which are live tweeted. So there's nothing
There's no
by
hiding.
video. Yeah, I don't. It's just a stupid policy, and I really hope they change it. I don't know. I don't get it, and I hope there would be an answer just with how heavy they are on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't seem like there is. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is something new. But when I was there in the past, it just didn't seem like it was something that was long standing.
Yeah.
But regardless, it shouldn't be how it is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good way to end it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be back August 3rd. Pat McAfee will be in attendance, so I'm expecting a big one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that'll be it. It'll be a lot of developments before, that next training camp and before even we next meet Sunday. But signing off, we're going to call this BurghTakes episode 17.5. We'll join you guys on 18. Have a great rest of your week until Monday. See ya.
See ya.